Are you looking for some stretches and exercises that you can do to help eliminate your shoulder pain right now? Or maybe you've looked at other videos and tried the stretches that they recommended, and those stretches actually caused pain. Today, we're going to go through a really brief shoulder stretching routine. And along the way, we'll also discuss if this stretch bothers you, what might be going on with your body. Ready? Let's go. All right, the first stretch that we're going to do usually feels really good for everybody, and it just generally gets your shoulders moving a little bit better. What you want to start with is by sitting in a good sitting posture. So your head's over your shoulders are over your hips. And yes, you can do this in standing as well, but if you're having shoulder pain, I like to do it in sitting because you're just in a more stable position. What you're going to do is you're going to take your shoulder blades that are behind you and you're going to squeeze them together as far as you can. You may even hear a little pop or a little snap crackle when you're doing that. That's totally fine. It's just everything getting moved around as long as it's pain-free. Obviously, if you have any pain with this exercise, you shouldn't be doing it. If you do have pain, most likely it'll be in the front here in the pecs. And it could be that you're getting pain from just a normal pec stretch. Maybe your pecs are just tight. And if that's the case, I'm not super concerned with a normal stretch pain. However, if you have sharp shooting pain, that could be that there's a tear in the pecs, and that's a bigger problem. So what you're going to do, squeeze those shoulder blades together as far as you can, hold for about 2 seconds, and then relax. Now, you may find that your shoulder blades get a little sore when you're doing this. Again, you may have some of that muscle soreness type pain. I'm not super concerned about that as long as it gets better as you do more. The point being, those muscles may be telling us, hey, I need to be stretched, and this feels really, really good to me. But then they'll tell you that because it will get better as you do more. Obviously, any pain that increases when you're doing any stretch or exercise is not what we're looking for. So this stretch is called shoulder retraction. You're going to do this about 10 to 15 times, and I usually recommend that people do this every hour. This helps get your shoulder blade in the right position and will get you ready for the other stretches. All right, now if you feel like the back of your shoulder is really tight or you struggle with pain in the back of your shoulder, then you might like this stretch here. What you're going to do for this one is put the arm straight out in front of you. You're going to gently pull it across until you feel a nice stretch along the back of the shoulder. Now, I do want you to be careful with this one because this should only feel like a good stretch. If you get a sharp pain right here, that means that you're having pain in your AC joint. Your AC joint is your acromioclavicular joint. The acromion is a bone that comes off of the shoulder blade. The clavicle is your collarbone up in there. So your AC joint can become really painful. And this is actually how we test it in the clinic to see if you have an AC joint problem, is to see if this is a pain-provoking position for you. So if you do that, and instead of feeling a good stretch along the back of your shoulder, instead you get pain up on the top of your shoulder, then what you're suffering with is an AC joint problem. Obviously, then stop doing this exercise. But if this feels like a good stretch for you, I usually have people hold it for 10 seconds. I always have people do it on both sides, even if the other side is not painful. Still want to make sure they do it on both sides, and we do 3 to 5 sets. Again, this is a stretch that you can do every hour if you find that it helps relieve your symptoms. So the next stretch I like to do is combining an angry cat with a child's pose. So what you're going to do is push your shoulder blades apart, like you're trying to touch your shoulders together in front of you, and get that nice arch through the back. And usually I like to kind of warm that up, make sure I've really got those shoulder blades moving well. If you find that you are in a position for a long period of time, like sitting at a computer, or maybe you stand in a static position for work, getting those shoulder blades warmed up before you do this exercise can be really, really helpful. All right, now once you're there, I like to put my knees a little bit further apart in order to do my child's pose. So what you're going to do, now you're going to push up into that angry cat. You're going to hold that position while you come and sit all the way down on your heels.
Now, if you find that you're unable to sit on your heels because you don't have enough hip mobility, just put a yoga block or a towel rolled up underneath your buttocks so you can rest on top of that. And then you're going to hold that angry cat while you come all the way back up. You may find that as you get more flexible, you want to move your hands a little bit further out to get more of a stretch, which is absolutely fine. Just start in that angry cat position and then sit all the way back. Again, making sure that your hips are supported along the way. I like to do this stretch about 10 to 15 times. This one can be a little bit more difficult to do throughout your daily activities, so I try to do it twice a day. Now, if you want to stretch more at the side of your neck and into the shoulder, then this stretch is going to be for you. There's different layers that you can do it with. The first one I have people start with is putting their arm out to the side and dropping their shoulder down. Now, you may be surprised at how much of a stretch you feel just with this. However, if you're not feeling anything, you're like, I got my arm out to the side and I don't feel anything, you can bring your head down to the side to increase that stretch from the neck all the way down into the shoulder. Now, for some people, they have really good flexibility and this is not enough for them. If that's you, what I'm going to have you do is put your hand underneath your leg and you're going to sit on it. You're going to drop that shoulder down again, and then you're going to kind of lean away from this spot. Just getting that nice stretch all the way from the neck into the shoulder. Now, actually for me in particular, I find that having my arm out to the side and elevated a little bit gets me a little bit better stretch. But for you, it may be having the hand underneath that leg and holding it there. With this stretch, you only want to hold it for about 10 seconds, and you want to do it again on both sides to make sure that your neck and shoulders are staying equally flexible. I usually have people do about 5 to 10 reps. And again, this stretch is one that you can do regularly throughout the day if it helps to relieve your tension. Now, if you find that with this stretch, you're getting any kind of nerve type symptoms into your hand or arm, then you might be having some issues up here in your neck. It could be directly where the nerve roots come out from the spine, or it could be as they go through the front of the shoulder. So when you're doing this, it should feel like a good stretch. It should not cause you to have numbness and tingling or any kind of nerve symptoms down into your arm or hand. If it does, then you've got some nerve root impingement issues or some issues where the nerves are crossing in the front of the shoulder. So you definitely want to seek out help from a specialist if you have any signs of nerve issues. All right, so there's my absolutely favorite stretches to do that require no equipment and you can do at home. However, I'm also going to include my absolutely 100% favorite stretch in here too. This is the one that I usually do as soon as I get into the clinic in the morning, and I'll do before I leave the clinic at night, because I spend all day over bodies, right? I'm bent over. So it helps me to get opened up, stretch my pecs out, and get more mobility through my neck and shoulders. All right, my absolutely favorite exercise for my neck and shoulders. What you're gonna do is grab a foam roll. A half foam roll will work as well. You're gonna carefully sit back on it, because it's rolly. Make sure you have your entire spine on it, so your head to your low back. That way you don't get any abnormal force through your spine. You're going to start with your arms together up above head, and then you're going to bring your arms out to the side. Now for me, this is where I feel the most amount of stretch. I feel it in the front, in the pecs. I feel it in the back around the shoulder blades. I even feel it a little bit in my neck. If this is not enough of a stretch for you, what you can do is bring those arms back here, and you can come down in more of a Y type position. Now, this one I feel in a little bit of a different position, still a good stretch, but not as much in the pecs, definitely more in the back of the shoulder. This one I'll hold for 5 to 10 seconds, and then I'll come out. And I might even switch positions in between just to get different things moving around as I go through it. I'll usually do about 5 to 10 reps. And like I said, for me, when I'm working, I like to do it first thing in the morning when I get here and last thing before I leave.
All right, there you go. My very favorite shoulder stretches, and also some information about if you're having any pain or symptoms with those stretches, what that could mean for you. Definitely recommend checking out my channel because we'll have more videos that are specific to each of those diagnoses here for you. And I would love for you to drop a comment and tell me which stretch was your favorite. And of course, it always helps the algorithm. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Have a great day, everyone.